Hey guys, Corey here, one of the creators at ContentFold, and I wanted to hop on here today and talk to you about why repurposing content with AI generally sucks and what you can do about that. So one thing we learned pretty quickly when developing ContentFold is that AI has some limitations when it comes to actually building content. And I guess for lack of a better way to say it, one of those limitations is understanding. So AI is really good at taking a piece of content that's focused on a certain topic. And as long as all the parameters are spelled out and all the information is there, AI is really good at putting it together into other content, such as a blog post or a Facebook post or something like that. It's very efficient at doing that, and it does it well. Especially when you start training it on your voice like we do at ContentFold, and it can make it sound much like you do. Where it fails is in the understanding of a human conversation. AI really lacks the understanding. I don't even know how to say it, the understanding gene. It doesn't really have one. And I'll give you a good example here. Say, for example, you get on and you do a YouTube video with someone else and you're talking about, say, the value of a Beavis and Butthead shirt. I don't know if Beavis and Butthead shirts have any value to anyone other than me. I like them, but just say you're discussing the value of that. So you might be talking through that conversation and you might hit on topics like how to actually list it on eBay. You might hit on topics about some fond memories in the 90s of you and your friends hanging out watching Beavis and Butthead. The conversation might even stray to sometime you went over and had meatloaf at a friend's house and that's the first time you saw Beavis and Butthead. That makes for a great conversation on a YouTube video, and it can be a very engaging video. The problem is if you hand that conversation via transcript or any other form to AI, it lacks the understanding of how to weave that together. It doesn't really understand the core topic of the conversation. It sees all those little pieces and it has no idea how to put them together. So what you end up with at the end, if you tell it, make a blog post out of this content, you end up with something that looks, well, it looks horrible.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
It's just not good. It's not something that if you care about your brand, you would probably ever publish on your blog. It's not something you're proud to put out there for other people to see. And it doesn't represent the video that it originated from. It doesn't represent it well at all. And it's because AI lacks the understanding. So the core purpose of ContentFold is to take the content you created, whether it be podcast or video form, and recreate other content out of it. And because we're creating content from humans and for humans, we have to un-AI the AI. And that's kind of where the magic of ContentFold happens. It's also where we struggle the most. Before we go too much further in the video, I want to say that this is much from our point of view, from my point of view currently, where we're at in ContentFold. If I'm saying something incorrect here, or if you disagree with something I'm saying, feel free to push back in the comments. That's how we learn. I'm completely open to learning from you guys. I'm sure there's a lot of really smart people out there that can teach us a lot. So don't be afraid to push back against anything I say in this. But in ContentFold, when we're trying to make that human readable content, the content that sounds like it came from the creator, one of the things we learned early on is we have to give the AI the understanding, not just the topic, not just a transcript, not just a copy paste of the video or the podcast format. We actually have to give it understanding of the content before we ask it to do anything with that. Like, one of the ways at ContentFold we're doing that is we can actually take the video or the podcast title and description and lean on that heavily, saying they're saying this video is about the value of a Beavis and Butthead t-shirt, for example. So focus on that. Don't go off on a tangent on the Meatloaf story. That was part of the story, and it's a funny anecdote of the story, and it's part of the conversation, but that's not the topic of what you're supposed to be writing about. Now that creates a new problem. That does make a better blog post. It does make a better piece of content, and it does actually refine the content down, but it also kind of sterilizes it. So we have to try and figure out a way to take that content and not lose the human in it, which is the tendency to stray off and go off on tangents and use humor. All of these things are foreign to AI in its current form. It's just not good at it. It can attempt it. It could try to fake it. It's not good at it. So that's where the ContentFold's voice profile and personality learning come into play. We have to borrow from you what we hear in your content and what we see in your content and your sense of humor and your personality, and try and re-inject that back in once we know what the content should be about. So that's kind of the path we've been going down here in the last couple of months. We're making huge strides in that. Matter of fact, I just again this morning posted another piece of content on my main creator channel that I have other than ContentFold that was created by the software. And that's a huge leap forward because that kind of content is scattered and ContentFold has struggled with it. And it's not the kind of content that ContentFold was really made for. So we didn't think it would ever really work on that channel. And once again, it proved me wrong and made a piece of content that was not only usable, but something I was proud to put on my own blog. We're going to continue to work on that, but that's kind of the struggle we're seeing with AI now. That's where a lot of our development focus is going right now, is into figuring out how to get AI to understand a human conversation, a real conversation that has tangents and has humor, and then still keep on topic and get the topic of the actual piece of content into a new piece of content, but then be able to re-inject the human back into it and take the staleness out of it and the sterileness away. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. That is what we are currently working on here at ContentFold, and we're making big strides in that area, and we hope to keep doing so. So if you guys have ideas or if you guys have struggled with the same thing, let us know in the comments. If you'd like to be part of our beta tester program, we are currently accepting beta testers if you're a content creator, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube channel. Go ahead and apply for the wait list. It's near the bottom of our page on contentfold.com, and we hope to see you in there. See you next time.